What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. So Canelo Alvarez has expressed interest in fighting Artur Beterbiev for his next fight. Now, Beterbiev is fighting on the 16th, I believe, against Marcus Brown. Assuming that he comes out on top in that fight, which I'm sure he will, I'm certainly picking him to win that fight. Canelo, is considering fighting him next instead of Makabu. I think Canelo is just really weighing out his options at the moment, and I think he wants to go with what Canelo is chasing history. I think he's trying to pick his next. Now that he's unified 168 pounds, I think he wants to choose his next matchup wisely. Not from the standpoint of like a cherry pick, not, picking and choosing his fights like Floyd Mayweather did, not, trying to choose a fight that he's most likely going to win. Not in that regard, but just he wants to pick the absolute best opponent he could possibly pick to get as much credit as he can possibly get, because it seems like regardless of what Canelo does nowadays, he's just viciously criticized. The face of boxing, the pound-for-pound number one fighter in the world, the guy who has the best resume out of any current fighter in boxing right now, probably receives the most hate. He's called a drug cheat, even though he passes VADA on a consistent basis. He's called a cherry picker. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I've never been able to understand it. Canelo Alvarez just made history unifying 168 pounds. He would make history if he went all the way up to cruiserweight and fought a champion in Makabu. Not a cab driver, right? Not a Walmart greeter. A world champion. Now, you could say what you want. You could say he's the weakest link at cruiserweight, or cruiserweight is a weak division. Canelo would be going from 168 pounds to 190 pounds. I mean, I don't even know how one could criticize that. That is greatness. That is chasing greatness. Now he's considering fighting Artur Beterbiev, which would be a very dangerous fight. Beterbiev is a very strong, super aggressive, come-forward fighter with a lot of skill as well. As aggressive as Beterbiev is, he's a high IQ fighter and would be a very difficult test for Canelo. Now, if he actually took the Beterbiev fight, a lot of haters are going to be on suicide watch. A lot of these haters are going to be just dead silent, because many of these haters have accused Canelo in the past of ducking Beterbiev, of ducking Benavidez, of ducking Charlo, ducking Demetrius Andrade, which at this point is just absolutely pathetic. I don't know how you could possibly say that Canelo is ducking a guy like Charlo when he offered Charlo a fight and he's fighting in a different division. And now Jamal Charlo decides to call him out when he feels safe. When Canelo is no longer campaigning at 160. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But regardless of the situation, things are looking good. Canelo wants to take a big fight. No more soft touches. The Yildirim fight was a mandatory, so, and his goal was to unify 168 pounds. He had to fight Yildirim in order to collect all the belts. He was a mandatory. A lot of people have a hard time understanding that. I don't know why. But if he fights Beterbiev, I would assume that he's probably gunning for 175. He probably will end up attempting to unify 175 pounds, which that's honestly, guys, that's what I expected him to do. I expected him to, go up to 175 and try to unify there after 168. And then the announcement came out about the Makabu fight, which was a big surprise. I think I actually mentioned it in my previous video. I wasn't the biggest fan of the move. However, I'm not going to negatively criticize Canelo, because he doesn't deserve to be negatively criticized for that move. It's just not my favorite move. And that's the problem with boxing fans, is they base everything off their emotions, even if it doesn't align with facts. Just because Canelo isn't fighting, necessarily going to choose the opponent that you wanted him to choose, does not make it a cherry pick. And that's the biggest, that's the flawed logic of boxing fans nowadays. If a guy's not undefeated, if he's not picking the opponent that they wanted him to pick, he's all of a sudden he's a cherry picker. There's a difference between an actual cherry pick and a world-class elite fighter who has fought and proven himself at the elite level, choosing an opponent that you did not want him to pick. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. You know, this is according to Bob Arum, by the way. Things are getting interesting. Things involving Canelo are getting interesting. I think at this point, you know, Canelo appears to be indecisive. What do you think he's going to do next? Let me know, guys, in the comment section below. If you liked the video, make sure to please subscribe. And until the next time.